What's going on? Back again with another video. This is going to be something a little bit different to what I regularly post training wise. Usually I just go to the gym, chuck a lot of pancakes onto a bar and lift it, and I just send it. But what I was finding with that was the next couple of days I needed an absolute wheelchair mate to get around, because I was broken, I was crippled, my joints felt like I just aged 80 years. And so I've changed up my whole training program at the moment. So before about focusing on strength and size, I'm now focused more about longevity training and also mobility calisthenics, kind of controlling the body a little bit better, just because it's got a little bit less of a toll on my joints and on my tendons. Today's session is going to be involving a lot of planche hold and also handstand hold. So it's very important that we are really getting into the wrists, really warming them up. Ever since I have been doing a lot more of these moves, my forearms are really sore after sessions. So mobility is key here to really get a little bit of blood flow going. First exercise just involved a handstand walk into a handstand hold. You want to really minimize how much of your body is touching the wall while you're doing this. You want to learn about really spreading your fingers apart and balancing on them, using them as a bit of a break if you do notice that you are moving a little bit too far over the top. After doing handstand walks and a hold, I now like to practice just a few normal handstand holds without using any of the wall behind me for a little bit of support. Now, I must admit, this calisthenics stuff, I suck. This was very, very difficult. I found it very, very challenging, and it's something that I need to improve on. I need to practice this a whole lot better, because there's still a long way to go. I need to build up my strength a little bit more through my upper back. And I'm just going to include the journey on this YouTube page as well. So if you want to start calisthenics, you're a beginner like I am, feel free to follow along, because you could also find these movements beneficial. Again, these moves that I'm doing, I'm still learning myself, and I've got a very long way to go for them. I'm going to really mix up the exercises and the workouts as we do progress with this journey, just so we are getting that progressive overload and we are all on that nice linear trajectory of improvement. After practicing my handstands, I'm trying to aim for a 10-second hold. I'm still quite a long way off. I now like to go into a few planche push-ups, concentrating on getting my face and also my chest down to the floor. What this is going to do is just going to increase strength through the entire range of motion. If you're only doing half reps or a quarter of a rep, you're only going to get half to a quarter of the result. So really take the initiative, going down as far as you can, and then coming back up. If you can't do it on your toes, progress down onto your knees and try it that way. You want to try to feel a nice activation through the chest, also through the shoulders and the arms. Again, keep your hips down so you maintain that nice proper body alignment. After doing 3 sets of about 6 to 8 reps on this move, I now like to take it to the next level by putting in a resistance band around my ankles and holding a planche hold with assistance. So I try to aim for about 3 to 10 seconds hold here, really concentrating, and again, keeping my arms nice and straight and also my upper back curved, holding that nice proper alignment. After wrapping up with a little bit of calisthenics, holding all of those poses, now time to get into a little bit of mobility. I've been doing this mobility program for about 10 days now, and I'm finding it is really helping me out. I just start off with an overhead dumbbell couch stretch. This is really going to open up the hip flexor. You want to make sure that you're keeping your entire shin up against the wall. If you can't do this exercise with weight, if you're having a lot of trouble, have your shin up against the wall, but have your back curved where you are holding the floor with your hands. And then you slowly want to progress by bringing your hips back and your back nice and straight. You're going to deepen the stretch into the hip flexor and also up through the quad. If you are suffering from lower back pain here, this stretch also can be a really great way to offset a a little bit of your discomfort. If you have tight and sore hips, it can throw your lower back out of alignment, resulting in a little bit of pain to flare up. So really good exercise. After holding this move for about 30 seconds on each leg for about 2 sets, I then progress into a low CAC squat. You can do this exercise with or without weight. It's completely up to you. If you do add in a little bit of weight, you may find that you can get down into the bottom position a little bit easier just because you have more of a force pushing you down. You can feel a pretty gnarly stretch here, especially in through your hamstring if you decide to turn your foot up and point your toes up to the ceiling, similar to what I'm doing here. You want to do about 6 reps on each side. What you want to focus in on here is keeping your back nice and straight and really sinking down as low as you can. Ideally, you want to try to get your leg that is off to the side completely down to the floor. It's going to take a whole lot of hip mobility. So if you're not yet at that level, what I would really recommend doing is just a scaled version, just coming down halfway and then rising back up into the middle. After I do the low Cossack, it's now time to get into a kettlebell goblet squat. You want to come down and hold the bottom for about 1 minute here, actively thinking about pressing your elbows into your knees. That's going to increase the stretch in through the groin, in through the hip. This exercise is perfect for those who are trying to get lower in their bodyweight squat. If you're struggling to hip depth, you don't have that hip mobility that is necessary for you to go down with good form without rolling onto your toes and lifting up your heels. This could be a great exercise for you. So you want to do this exercise again for about 1 minute, maybe 2 sets. So a total of 2 minutes on this exercise. After you do that, you want to go into a middle split. I can't get my hips down completely to the floor. So what I like to do is I try to go as wide as I can. And then over time, maybe about 1-2 minutes in, I like to spread my feet a little bit wider apart, just so I am deepening the stretch in through the hip, in through the adductor, really progressing with this move. You can use a set of yoga bricks, similar to what I'm doing here, just for a little bit of support. As you progress, you can start to transition from those yoga bricks being in your hands to the yoga bricks being stacked on top of one another, and you try to bring your hips down onto the bricks. You go from 2 bricks down to 1 brick, and then 1 brick down to the floor. I'm nowhere near at that level. I'm completely noob at this move. It's gonna take me a very long time in order for me to get my hips down to the floor, but again, I'm gonna be consistent with it. I'm gonna post it on this channel a whole lot more, just so I'm also keeping myself accountable to you guys. If you are following me and if I'm getting super slack, I'm kind of letting you guys down as well. So I need to make sure that I'm staying on top of it. After holding this position for about 1 to 2 minutes, you want to transition into the front split, a little bit easier for me. I can get down a little bit further than what I can with the middle split, but it's still a very long way off from getting the hip down to the floor. A very similar method that you could use here to the middle split. If you have your front leg in front of you and you actively think about driving your heel down into the floor where you really tense your hamstring and your glute as hard as you can, and then relax, and as you relax, you bring your back leg back behind you a little bit more, so you increase the stretch through your hip flexor and your hamstring. You can go down a little bit further. And that's basically what I like to do in order to stay limber, mobile, whilst learning the basics of calisthenics. I'm not some crazy guru that can hold like some insane handstand holds or split holds. I'm still trying to learn it myself, and I'm documenting the process with you guys. So if you like today's video, drop a like, maybe even a comment, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.